Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed building video. So for today's video, I kind of just wanted to do another starter house. So my last video, which went up on Wednesday, was a family starter apartment, and I absolutely love doing starter houses. I've said this before, it's one of my favourite things to build in The Sims, and I decided for today I'm just going to do another starter house. So this is a single starter, so I've done starters before for maybe 2 people or 3 people, or the last video I did was actually a starter apartment for a family. But I kind of realised I haven't actually built a little house for just a single sim, not multiple sims, not a little family, just a single sim just for one sim. And so that's what I decided to do for today's video. So this is built on the 20 by 15 lot in Willow Creek. It's in the starter neighbourhood, and I've only got 2 more lots after this one left, and then this little neighbourhood of Willow Creek, or this little kind of area of Willow Creek, will be done. You can kind of see the one next door. I've already done that, which is one of my favourite houses that I've done so far. I absolutely love that one. And then I've just got the one opposite this house, so that's a 30 by 20, and then I've got the 40 by 30, which is the BFF household, which I'm really confused on what I'm going to do, because that plot of land is so big and I still want it to look like a kind of starter kind of house. All the houses in this neighbourhood I want to be very similar. They've all got the same roof tiles, so when I build them, they've all got similar wallpaper and similar roof tiles, or if not the same roof tiles so far, just because I want to look like they was all built at the same time and they all had the same people building them. So I've only got them 2 left, but for the minute I just wanted to build this one, which is a cute little single sim starter. I'm actually thinking that I might keep this one unoccupied. I might not actually move a sim into this house, just because I want you to go into your game and be able to have at least one house or one apartment in each world that is empty. So if you want to live in Willow Creek you can, or if you want to live in Oasis Springs and so on and so forth with all the worlds, I want there to be at least one vacant lot. And I think I might actually make it this one. I'm not completely sure, but I still do want there to be some vacant lots in my save file. So when you download it, whenever that will be, I'm not actually sure. I haven't got a date for it. I've still got a lot to do. I just still want there to be at least one vacant lot in all the worlds. But anyway, moving on, as you can kind of see, I'm pretty much done with the structure of the build, and I'm not adding any more bump outs or anything like that. All the walls are basically in place. I do actually make the house a lot smaller, because when I actually went in and just kind of built the shape of the house, I didn't take into consideration the budget that I had for the house, and so I do actually end up making it a little bit smaller, just because I wanted it to be still as cluttered as always and still look as decorative as I normally do with my houses. But I feel like if I would have made it or kept it the same shape and size that it is now, it wouldn't have been able to be as cluttered as it normally is. I also did add this little fireplace bump out on the side, which I was going to put a fireplace on, but when I actually came to looking for a fireplace, the paint that I selected, which is a vampire brick, there isn't actually a matching fireplace that I could find anyway that matches it. And also, whenever you raise a fireplace up at the minute, there's like a kind of glitch, and the fireplace will have this really dark shadow on top of it, and it's really annoying. So I just ended up deleting it, but it was kind of good anyway, because I actually still got a little bit more money back, so I had a little bit more money to play around with. But I am just kind of finishing up the exterior. I do actually add that cats and dogs, it's not a tile, I don't know why it's a tile, like a paneling kind of sliding kind of thing, just on top of that little bump out at the front, just to give it a little bit more depth and to make it look a little bit more interesting than it was, because otherwise it would just be that plain white paneling all the way up, and I just kind of wanted to break it up a little bit, so I just used the cats and dogs one in the white swatch. And now I'm just going around and just adding a little bit more terrain paint just below the fence and the little pathway leading up to the house. I like doing this because I feel like it adds a little bit more realism, and it kind of looks like the fence has been there for a little while, and I don't know, it's just something that I like to do in a lot of my houses. I did also add some trees to the exterior just to kind of make it look less bare and more like a little cute little house, and from the street appeal as well, I wanted it to look really nice. But now I'm just going in and adding the windows, and I did the floor plan. It's a very basic floor plan. It's just a 1 bedroom 1 bathroom house, and to get to the bathroom it's kind of like an ensuite, because there's a door going through from the bedroom into the bathroom. And although I did actually build this with a single sim budget, so I think the budget is 18,500 simoleons, even though I did build it with that budget, you obviously can have 2 sims living in here, because I did have a double bed into the 1 bedroom. And so if you want to maybe move in 2 sims instead of 1 sim, then that will kind of give you a little bit more money when you move in. And so I think when you move a sim in, the remaining budget is something like 2 or 3 simoleons, so you haven't got a lot of money. But I did put everything in this house which your sims would need. So obviously there is the basics like the kitchen, the bathroom and the bedroom, and then I also did add a bookcase in kind of like the lounge area, a TV and a computer. I wanted there to be a computer in this house because a computer adds so many more interactions and it can deal with multiple different needs. It can deal with fun and social, and I just wanted there to be a computer in this house. Plus, if you wanted your sim to maybe be a writer or something, there's a place that they can sit down and write a book, but they won't have a lot of money when they first start out, so maybe you could just go around the world and pick up a few collectibles, or you could just go straight into the world and make your sim get a job, whatever you really want. But moving on, as you can kind of see, I've already gone in and started doing the furnishing. So I started off doing the kitchen like I always do, and I went for these base game counters. Now these are the cheapest in the game, or the second cheapest. The cheapest ones are the city living ones, which are kind of like a worn down second hand version of these ones, and they're kind of dirty and I'm not a massive fan of them, and so I decided to use these ones which are a lot cleaner and they don't look like they've been bought second hand, and so I didn't want to give that effect in this house. I wanted it to be as nice and cute as I could, so I decided to use them ones. But I do actually just kind of move throughout the rooms because I wanted to make sure I had the basics done. And so I did the bathroom, which you can kind of see. I just did a bathtub, sink and all that kind of stuff in there. I did the kitchen, and then once I did the kitchen, I kind of moved on and just did the bedroom quickly, just because I didn't want to do that at the very end and not have enough money for it. And so I just went in and did the bedroom. I used originally the city living bed in the black swatch, but then I completely changed it and I decided to kind of splurge out on the bed, and I used the Seasons one with it's kind of like a really low bed and it's got a few cushions on it and it's really cute, and I used it in the blue swatch which actually matched the wallpaper perfectly. And I just did a little bedside table as well, just to kind of cluster that up and make the house look a little bit more lived in. But this is where you see me just switch off the bed, and I think it looks a lot more nicer. And I also did actually add them paintings that we got with backyard stuff. They are some of my favourite paintings in the game. I kind of wish that we had more paintings that were kind of just a plain painting with like a black frame or a white frame or something like that. I kind of want more of them kind of paintings in the game. But moving on, I'm just doing the little lounge room, and so although this is a starter house, I didn't want it to look like a starter house, and so as you can kind of see by the front door, I put this little cats and dogs rug down, and then I paired it with a Seasons little umbrella rack and then a base game little coat rack, because even though it is a starter house, I didn't want it to look like one, and so I just thought adding them few little items just kind of gives the effect that it's not as cheap as it may look. But I am just doing the little lounge area. I used the Seasons sofas, which I absolutely love. They're some of my favourite sofas that we have in the game. I was going to use the base game cheap ones, but I just decided to splurge on them, and I think it looks a lot more nicer than the plain ones that we have with base game. I just used them in the white and grey swatch with kind of like a light oak kind of wood kind of texture on the sides, which I really like. And then I do actually add this desk. Now I add it and then I actually delete it, but then I end up adding it back again just because I wanted there to be enough room for a dining room table, which I kind of completely forgot when I was doing this. I was trying to fill out that empty space in between the front door and the kitchen, and then I just kind of realised that I forgot to put a dining room table in. So I just added this little one from base game, which I really like. It's got kind of this like little textured rug on it, or like, I don't know what it's called, but it's really cute and I really like it. I think it's from the Mega collection. I'm not completely sure, but I do just add that, and then a little base game plant on top of that just to kind of make the table look a little bit less bare. But now I am actually going to go around and just add a few debug items here and there just to kind of clutter it up. And debug items are actually really cheap, or you can find a lot of them are cheap. It does get a little bit more expensive as you go down the menu, but quite a lot of them are quite cheap objects that you can just use just to clutter up your houses. But I am going to end this voice over here. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed watching me build this little starter house, and as always, if you do like my content, then please subscribe, and hopefully I will see you in my next Sims 4 speed building video. Bye guys!